This is the plaintiff, David Gonzalez. He says he sold 2 very expensive porcelain sinks and hired the defendant to pack and ship them, and they both arrived shattered. The defendant refuses to reimburse him for the sinks, cost of $1,771.73, so he's suing him here and now. This is the defendant, Greg. He says he asked the plaintiff if he wanted to purchase insurance, and the guy declined. The big shipping companies often damage packages. He explained that to the plaintiff, and, well, here they are. He's accused of packing a problem.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Miliantar presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Mr. Gonzalez, you buy and sell on eBay?
That is not my principal business, but I have in the past bought and sold a few items.
Okay. So my understanding is that on September 28th, you went to the defendant's company in order to ship some things that you were selling, correct?
That's correct.
And the things that you were selling were going to 2 different buyers, and both of those items were what?
They were 2 Cheryl Wagner sinks. One was a pedestal sink and one was a drop-in sink made of porcelain.
So this is one of them, which we're going to talk about how it arrived broken.
That's the pedestal of the pedestal sink. There's another sink.
Okay. So tell me what happens. You go to the defendant's business. Do you go or you send someone else?
My son actually shipped the pedestal sinks.
And you paid the defendant's business how much to pack and ship them?
About $435.
Okay. And Mr. Greg, how is it that you guys ship these things? Because they're pretty breakable.
Typically, when someone comes in with something like that, we talk to them about how we're going to package it, which in this case, we bubbled it with about 2 inches of bubble wrap around it.
More or less, how thick are the bubbles? How big are the bubbles in your bubble wrap?
They're 1.5 inches.
And anything else?
And then I put cardboard pieces inside the box and paper inside the box so it wouldn't move as much.
Okay, both arrived damaged. So what shipper did you use?
One's FedEx and one's UPS.
Okay, and does the customer pick the shipper or you pick the shipper? Who picks the shipper?
We picked the shipper based on the price for where the package was going.
Now, let's talk about the insurance. Tell me about the discussion you had with the plaintiff's son.
Well, typically in situations like this...
When you keep saying typically, do you remember this case or you don't remember this case?
I remembered it specifically, yes.
Okay, so I don't want to hear about typically because you're not being sued for your business practice. You're being sued about this case. So tell me the discussion you had with the plaintiff's son in this case.
In this case, I asked the plaintiff's son if he, after I told him what the shipping and packing charges would be, I had asked him specifically would he like to add insurance to this in case it breaks in shipping. He asked me how much it was. I told him how much it was.
How much would it have been?
For both of them, it would have been approximately $32. Jeez. So we offer $100 of courtesy insurance on every package we ship. In any case, we offered it. He declined. He didn't want to spend that extra $32. So you can't have a bite of the apple the second time around. Once
Can I ask you, is there like an actual place where he waives insurance or he just didn't buy insurance? Which is it?
He just didn't buy insurance. If you look at the shipping bill that we gave in the declared value, he didn't put any declared value in there. So therefore, there was no shipping charge there. We did mark the package as fragile and we did mark it that we did pack it. Yes.
Did you marked one of the packages as fragile. Did you mark both of them as fragile?
No, we didn't mark the other one as fragile.
Yeah.
But marking it as fragile doesn't really do anything to it.
Well, clearly not because they both broke. But let's discuss this document. High value insurance service failure claims.
And
this is all about whether it gets there on time, providing any request for the support. Should an item package by it be damaged and subsequent claim be denied by either UPS, FedEx, or DHL due to a packaging issue, our liability will be limited to $100 minus any portion of the claim paid by the carrier. Was a claim ever made against the carriers?
Yes, a claim was made with the carrier, and in both cases, the adjuster from both UPS, well, I know the one from UPS was denied to see the package, so we couldn't even get the $100 back for the customer. So we have a form here from UPS they sent us.
What about
They
FedEx?
FedEx didn't send us anything like that. They just denied the claim.
Why did they deny it? What was their reason for denying it?
They never told me. They just denied the claim.
How do you know they
I don't
denied
have
it?
any, because they didn't pay us anything.
Okay, but how do you know they didn't ignore you? Like, in other words, did they send a smoke signal telling you they denied it? Or did you get something in writing from FedEx saying it's denied, saying
I got
why?
something in writing from UPS, but nothing from FedEx. I'd have to go back and look at my FedEx paperwork, but I did not.
Mr. Gonzalez, can I ask you a really simple question? Can you tell me why on God's green acres your son did not buy $32 worth of insurance to cover this possibility?
He says that he was not asked.
Okay, let's say he wasn't asked. I don't
That's
even
his
need him to
recollection.
respond. Let's say he wasn't asked. There's a place there, isn't there, for buying additional insurance? The ticket he signed talks about that. It talks about how it limits their liability. So, and Mr., by the way, Mr. Greg, I presume that, you always ask, do you want to add insurance? Because I've shipped a million things, and I know they always ask, do you want to add insurance? What are you shipping? What's it worth? Declare a value. There's a space for your son to declare value. Your son didn't declare value. I'll grill him if you want me to, but you guys aren't 4 years old. You're business people. You know that, the issue of insurance should be coming up. Whether he offers it or not, wouldn't you want to have your thing insured?
I can't answer that. I wasn't there.
I know.
I would have.
Oh, I'm sure you've
if it had
given him
been-
an ear cleansing on this issue. Go ahead and put your son on. Let me talk to him.
Hi, Judge.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, you look so much younger. Okay, raise your right hand, please. We're going to swear you in.
Yes, ma'am.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me what happens when you go ship it. First of all, have you ever shipped anything before?
I've shipped several things, but I've never shipped something in this portion as magnitude.
Right. And according to you, were you asked whether or not you wanted to declare a value or purchase insurance?
I do not recall, and I firmly do not believe that ever happened.
All right. Do you see where you signed the documents for both of them, how there's a space for declared value?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And you didn't fill anything out there?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay. And then you signed the bottom?
Correct.
And right above where you signed, it says that you're releasing them from liability under the shipment. Right.
Correct.
Underneath where you sign. When you've ever shipped anything else, has anyone asked you, do you want to buy insurance?
Yes, people have in the past. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you know insurance is available for something like this. Did your dad ever tell you, hey, make sure you buy insurance?
Yes, he has told me in the past.
Did he tell you on this one?
I don't recall.
Okay, and they're porcelain sinks, so they're very fragile. You knew there were porcelain sinks because you brought them over there to get packaged. Why wouldn't you buy insurance on this?
Well, at the time, and this is what I recall at the time of the pricing of the packaging and the shipment, I thought insurance was in there included with it because the price was so expensive.
But the thing was really heavy. And
I've shipped with.
Not only does it not say you have insurance, you don't declare a value. So how can you have insurance? Because you have to declare a value for there to be insurance, and you signed something saying they're not liable.
Correct. And in the past, I've used Greg to ship several things, and since I've used Greg and we were both neighbors in the past, I assumed that he would pack it correctly. And in this case, I believe there was gross negligence involved and carelessness.
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about that. Go ahead and put your dad back on because he's the one who spoke to the clients, and we'll talk about any negligence that might have existed. Because I do want to give your dad a chance to talk to me about that. You spoke to the clients because both of them called you immediately to tell you, I want my money back. This came broken, correct?
Actually, we communicated through emails.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, I have narratives. Obviously, I've provided the graphic evidence. But if Your Honor would indulge me, I would like to spend just a few moments reading the comments of the recipients. The sink was destroyed. Whomever packed the box should never be allowed to pack another package. As you can see from the photos, there was only 1.5 wraps of bubble around the sides. There was only one layer of bubble on the bottom. There was very thin paper on the top. He used an epithet, what an idiot. These are not my words. These are the recipient's words. What an idiot. Never use this company again, and give them a very bad rating everywhere to protect other customers. It was a joke, this service. You can clearly see that there were no fragile notations at all on the box or any arrows as to orientation, or he says which end
Fragile
is up.
notations mean nothing.
Excuse me, so wait a minute, hold on. What'd you say, Greg?
Fragile notations on a box are just that. They mean
it costs nothing to stick fragile things on it. And it alerts the person who's throwing it on a thing not to throw it. So why wouldn't you put fragile stickers on it?
The temporary workers that are working in the shipping industry now don't like to see fragile stickers, and they treat the box worse.
Oh,
that's
don't be
not
ridiculous.
The reason that we didn't put the.
That is complete. Listen to me. It's total negligence on your part. You guys packaged it in a horrible way. All right? And you didn't even put fragile on it. And that's why both customers are super angry at the way you guys did your job. Now, having said that, gross negligence and regular negligence are two different things. They did not intend to have this headache on their hands. That's what gross negligence is. It's really severe. Negligence, they've waived in that receipt with you. Why on God's green acres would you ship something this fragile and have all these different hands touching it without making sure that you have insurance on it? Your son screwed up and didn't have insurance on it. You know this should have had insurance. You know it and I know it, because this is exactly what can happen. You can be out $1,300. And now, based on your contract, not my contract, your contract, because your agent, your son, signed a contract, I'm stuck with the results of the contract. I agree with you. This should have been packed way better, but it wasn't. And now what? Now we go to the contract to see what's what. And according to the contract your son signed, he didn't buy any more insurance. So I'm limited to the, no, stop talking. So I'm limited to the amount that he limits the liability to that your son signed, which is $200. But based on the job that I saw that was packed, I'm also going to award you the $435.73 because I don't believe that that job was done well. But I am limiting his liability for the actual object to what is limited there. Therefore, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $635.73. That's my verdict.
So the plaintiff prevails just over $600. He was actually suing for $1,700. I don't know if he feels like that much of a winner. Let's see what Mr. Gregg feels about the outcome of the case. Greg, let me ask you, how do you feel about it? What the people wrote, not putting a fragile on it was a big mistake on your part, the judge thinks.
I still don't think a fragile sticker would have made a difference in this case. The shippers are going to handle the boxes the way they handle the boxes. I did not break these boxes. If they would have looked at the receipt and seen all the packing materials that were used, we've used peanuts, bubble wrap, extra large boxes. All of these things were on there is what the defendant paid for. He, as a matter of fact, he tried to get that money back from his credit card, and I made the same case with the credit card company, and he did not get the money back from the credit card. So now the fact that he's getting it in this court case seems very unfair, but I mean, the judge has made a ruling, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the judge's verdict. You got to live with it. Mr. Gonzalez, all I can say to you is I'll bet you the next time you're going to buy insurance, right? Regardless.
Yes, that's true. But I also won't use a shipper that exhibits gross negligence in the way they pack.
All right. Well, that you got to watch out for. All right. Thank you very much. Yes. That'll wrap it up for this case. Harvey, what's your opinion on this issue?
So, Doug, got to say this, that if you buy insurance, that's on you. That's your ability to make yourself whole depending on what's going on with the other party. But the other party can't say, well, he bought insurance or she bought insurance, so therefore it's not on me. It is on you if you're negligent.
If you could go back to any time in history, where would you go and why? You got the Wayback Machine.
Got the Wayback Machine,
go, right?
Like Mr. Peabody.
Right.
I would go back to when Sophie was about 2 or 3, which is such a luscious age.
That's our youngest daughter.
Our youngest daughter. And then that would make Alex about 6 and Christy about 8. And I would just stretch that time out for as long as I could. That was such an incredible time, and you're so busy making sure nobody dies and kills themselves,
Right.
and you know,
Doesn't stick a fork
stick a
into
fork in it.
electrical
You're
outlet.
so busy running around getting dinner and doing this and trying to
Making sure they don't
and trying to
run out
make a
into the
living at this
street.
job and running your and
Yeah.
everybody tells you slow down because this goes really fast, and you hear it and you it doesn't matter. It still goes too fast.
It's a
I would
blur.
go back.
You're right. And the
yeah, I see
videos-
video of that, and video is way better than pictures. Videos, I can almost close my eyes and smell my children at that age when they were babies.
Yes.
But it's still not, you know, I would just go back and relive that really, really slowly. And I really wouldn't care what we had for dinner. And I really wouldn't care if the house was perfect. And I really wouldn't care if someone picked up this or picked up that. I would spend more time on the floor playing. That's what I would do.
Wow, I had an idea of something I want to do. It just seems so trifling and insignificant. You just crushed all my ideas because you're such a better parent than me or something. I don't know.
Where'd you want to go?
You know, I'm a big military history
Yes,
buff.
that's
So
great.
I'm looking back at, you know, I want to be at this. I want to see this battle, that battle. You know, Hastings in 1066. I want to see Pickett's charge at Gettysburg. I want to see the Normandy invasion at D-Day. I want to be safe and away from the bullets.
You just want to see it from a
Just
drone
would like
view.
to see it. I would like
Yeah.
to see some of those great events in military history that I guess I'm not going to see, except at the movies.